Hello, everybody. My name is Micheline Bowman, and I want to welcome you to the African American Health Program Community Day. I'm going to call it AAHP as we go through the program, but I want to make sure that everybody here is ready for an exciting program. We have sessions, we have speakers, we have some fun coming at the end of the program. We have all the great things that this community day typically would bring you if we were out together in the same space. But due to COVID-19, we did not want to not have this community day. So we decided that we would do it virtually and still offer you some of the fun that you would have if we were in the same place. So to kick off this program today, I want to first give some acknowledgments to some very important people. Thank you, everybody. How about that? Everybody who had a part in today's program and today's sessions, I want to personally thank you because thanks is not enough when you put your time and your energy into making something like this happen. And I am just honored that you invited me to be a part of it. Now, also, I have two big thank yous I want to make sure I acknowledge because they did something extra special during this time of COVID. They are Council Members Rice and Jawando for being the co-sponsors of the AAHP EC COVID Response Project. I can only imagine what you had to do to put together a project of such sort as we continue to deal with this pandemic. So I want to say kudos, shout out to you, hand claps, virtual hugs for a job well done. Now, later you're going to also hear from some other people within the area that have some great messages to bring to you. But I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to stay tuned, stay focused. If there's things you need to run and go and do, put those off because right now you're in the best place, the best space. It's the AAHP Community Day 2021.
I want to congratulate the African American Health Program and its many partners as you host your annual AAHP Community Day. This event is designed to promote the importance of good health and eliminate health disparities in the Black community. By promoting awareness, education, and empowering people, we can curb the health conditions that we've been fighting for decades. Over the last years, COVID has shown how these disparities can impact us, and I hope that increased awareness will help us work even harder to deter chronic diseases with healthier diets, more exercise, stress management, and regular visits to the doctor. COVID has impacted life expectancy in the Black community more than other groups. AAHP Community Day is one of the many efforts to get the word out that health equity is important and we must do whatever we can to ensure that all residents have access to good information and services that will make them healthier and happier. Enjoy this important gathering and please remember to get vaccinated. It is the best way to keep you and your family safe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Tom Hucker. I'm the president of the Montgomery County Council. It's an honor to be here today for this year's AAHP Community Day. As you all know, communities of color have been disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 virus, and this is true across our nation as well as in Montgomery County. The African American community in the county has been greatly impacted by the virus, accounting for more than 18% of our COVID-19 deaths. And since the onset of the pandemic, the Council has been working overtime to address racial disparities and ensure our recovery efforts and our vaccine rollout are equitable. In August, the Council unanimously voted in favor of appropriating over $3 million to provide a targeted response to the impact of COVID-19 on the African American community. And since the beginning of our vaccine rollout, we've made significant progress in closing racial gaps in vaccinations. In February, only about 20% of Black and Latino county residents older than 65 had been vaccinated. But by April, about 60% of Black and Latino residents over 65 had been vaccinated, 3 times that number in just 2 months. None of this would have been possible without the dedication and the support from the African American Health Program. AAHP has done tremendous work collaborating with faith-based organizations and community partners, setting up community-based vaccine clinics, putting out informational PSAs, and getting resources right into the community. Our progress is a testament to the great work AAHP does in Montgomery County and shows how our incredible community has banded together to help each other all through this time. So thank you so much for always being tireless advocates for the communities you serve, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person at AAHP Community Day next year. Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Council Vice President Gabe Albernaz, and it is truly an honor to have the opportunity to say a few words during this African American Health Program Community Day 2021. While obviously all of us would much prefer to meet in person, I cannot miss this opportunity to acknowledge the incredible leadership and dedication of our African American Health Program. All of you have done an absolutely outstanding and stellar job leading us through an unprecedented and tragic time. At moments this last year, I have felt disoriented, exhausted, and frankly, just very sad. But your work and that of so many residents in our community have given me tremendous hope. Your ongoing effort to eliminate health disparities and to increase the number of Blacks in Montgomery County who are healthy at every stage of their life. In addition, specifically, your goals for this Community Day to promote awareness, education, and empower African Americans and people of African descent about health issues impacting their lives, their families, and their communities. Your work is so vital to so many people among us. And I want to just again express my deep and utter respect and appreciation for your leadership, particularly for this last year. I assure you this council stands with you, and we look forward to partnering to take many of the lessons learned from the tragedies of this last year and ensure that, number one, they never happen again, but number two, we come out so much stronger as a community, particularly through a public health lens. Thank you again to our African American Health Program. We salute you.
Hi, I'm Montgomery County Councilmember Craig Rice, and I want to welcome you to the African American Health Program Community Day. We all know how important it was for us to come together to make sure that we're talking about health in our communities of color, primarily in the African American community. But now, amidst the global pandemic, it's even more important for us to make sure that we're educating everybody about how to stay healthy, about how to make sure that you continue to get tested, to get the vaccination, so that we can continue to promote health for all folks in our community. So, I really want to thank our Omega Psi-Phi Mu Nu chapter for their great work in helping to sponsor this. I really also want to thank partner organizations in conjunction with Black Wellness Week that are all coming together, both our community organizations, nonprofits, all understanding just how important this really is. And of course, I want to thank the African American Health Program leadership. They have been steadfast in terms of their commitment to making sure that we can try and eliminate as many racial disparities as we continue to see in our public health sector. We declared racism a public health emergency here in Montgomery County. We understand the importance of healthcare. We understand the importance of health education. We understand the importance of getting rid of some of the stereotypes, some of the myths that are out there that keep folks from going and seeking health outcomes that we know will benefit them and their families. Together, we can make a difference. And so by you being here today, you certainly are making sure that you're doing your part. But let's make sure that we share this information with all of our friends and family and that they know how important it is to be healthy. It sometimes is very easy in terms of the steps that we can make. So let's take those first steps together. And I promise that if you have a stumbling block along the way, I'll help you to get there. Take care, guys, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to the 8th Annual AAHP Community Day. I'm sorry we're not in person and that I can't physically be there. This is one of my favorite events of the year because the African American Health Program has done for so many years so much for our community to lift up health and disparities in our African American and Black communities and really working to address them. And that's certainly been true during COVID. Now we're making progress. We hope in the next several weeks that we'll have 60% of our population vaccinated here in the county, and our health department's doing a great job. But we know that there are still gaps and that the African American community, as well as the Latino community, are not getting vaccinated at the same rates, and that we have pockets where testing and vaccination are still an issue. And that's why AHP is so, so important. You've been at the forefront of advocating for these issues and working with myself and Councilmember Rice and all of our colleagues. That's why we put forward an appropriation last year to support the African American Health Program's Executive Committee work in partnership with our health department to get testing apparatuses set up in the Black and African American community. And you did a great job. We got a lot of people tested, and now we've been getting people vaccinated. And we'll continue this work because one thing we know that COVID has showed us, what we already knew, but in a horrible way, that these disparities are leading to a lower quality of life and death for our Black and African American communities. And so this continued partnership and the infrastructure we've built, the communication strategy, all of this, the COVID kits, the Black Physicians Network that's being put together to bring together our physicians and make sure all of our residents have primary care physicians. All of this is going to be continually important as we work to deal with the COVID pandemic, but as we work to recover and address underlying health disparities that put our community at risk. So I'm really proud to partner with you. I look forward to our continued work as we work together to really make Montgomery County a place where everyone has the opportunity to live a healthy, fulfilling, sustaining life. And the work that the African American Health Program has done and continues to do in the community is a big, integral, critical part of that. So thank you for what you do and look forward to talking with you in person next year.
Hi, my name is Nancy Navarro, and I am honored to represent District 4 residents on the Montgomery County Council. The African American Health Program has been at the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic, providing much-needed services and support to a community that has been hit hard by this virus. And for that, we thank the Executive Committee and the many organizations and volunteers for partnering with the county to respond in an equitable and culturally efficient manner. While there is much that we have accomplished, we must continue our shared goal of eliminating the persistent health disparities that disproportionately affect our Black residents. I hope everyone takes advantage of the many opportunities to engage during this year's Community Day, including learning more about how to get vaccinated so we can soon meet and celebrate in person. Thank you for all that you do.
Hi, I'm Hans Reamer, Chair of the Montgomery County Council's Housing and Economic Development Committee. I'm glad to be here, joining you to celebrate Community Day. This has been a very difficult year as we have fought the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has affected communities in different ways. A lot of people can telework. They're plugged into the latest healthcare research, and they have access to the best care. Others less so. A lot of African American residents in our community are heavily impacted today by generations of racism and lack of access to healthcare services and education. It should be no surprise that our Black families have been hit harder than others. But it is also clear that our government was not prepared to meet that challenge. We need to be better prepared with policies that recognize the access challenges and health conditions of our communities of color. As a member and father in a Black family, it is certainly personal to me, to my wife, and her extended family as well. I was proud to join my colleagues to declare that racism is a public health emergency. We see the impacts of racism all around us, and never more so than now. To beat COVID-19, we are fighting racism itself. We know that your educational background, type of employment, and access to healthcare are tragic markers of our racist history and COVID-19's impact. That's no coincidence. That is why we need to strengthen our commitment to the broader policy agenda on racial justice. We couldn't do any of this important work without you. Thank you for always being at the front lines. I'm right here with you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sidney Katz, the Montgomery County Council member for the 3rd District. I'm sorry that we cannot be together for AAHP Community Day, but I'm glad we are still having it virtually. AAHP and its many partner organizations have always been an important part of our community, but especially during the COVID-19 crisis. The AAHP Community Day is a free, fun day to promote awareness, educate, and empower African Americans and people of African descent about health issues impacting their lives, their families, and their communities. Demonstrate the importance and ways to deter chronic diseases by eating healthier, exercising regularly, managing stress, and getting checkups and annual physicals from a doctor and a dentist. I often said that I believe the community is a family. Thank you, AAHP, for all that you do and for keeping our families safe.
Hi, I'm Councilmember Evan Glass, and I just want to thank all of you for being part of the AAHP community and making sure that all members of the African American community and African diaspora have the health care that they need here in Montgomery County. We are a welcoming and inclusive place and want to make sure that everybody is healthy and safe. And the services that AAHP provide are so important to every single one of us, whether it is infant mortality or making sure people have the diabetes medicines that they need. Then also, we have also support for HIV and AIDS patients, but then there's oral health and there's also cancer. And then last but not least, we have those who have heart disease, and we want to prevent heart disease as well. So this is the type of community that I love and that cares for every single person. And so thank you to everybody in the AAHP network for making sure that everybody is healthy and safe here in Montgomery County.
Okay, everybody, it's that time for a quick pause for the cause commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Wait. Put down your phone. This is just a little cool down stretch. Fine, you can use it like this. But before I go, I just wanted to say you're awesome. Believe it or not, you're about 90 seconds more active than you were before, and your heart totally noticed. Yeah, the workouts are done, but you don't have to be. Visit heart.org/makemoves to learn more about how you and your heart can keep moving.
Hi, my name is Lori Ann Sales, Gaithersburg City Council member. Thank you so much for joining us today for the 8th Annual African American Health Programs Community Day. While we're celebrating this awesome event in a virtual space, I'm so glad that this village, this community is coming together once again to not only work to be healthier, work towards a better lifestyle for you and your loved ones, but a variety of other programs and offerings are on hand today. We are so excited for you to join us, and we look forward to you walking away with a wealth of information just in time for the summer, and we hope you enjoy your time with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the first virtual African American Health Program Community Day. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm Brenda Wolf, President of the Montgomery County Board of Education. On this day, the board celebrates the African American Health Program's Community Day. It's fitting that they are doing this in conjunction with the Black Wellness Health Week. As a county, we are fortunate to have a health infrastructure that considers the disparities being experienced by different races in our county. It gives us an extra layer, a safety net, so to speak. Our students have access to learning about and receiving services from our health community that differentiates based on the experiences and needs of our student population. In the past, AAHP has partnered with MCPS to bring workshops and hold teen summits on issues such as HIV, AIDS, and sexually transmitted diseases. While many of AAHP's priority areas overlap with our student interests, one area, mental health, is particularly relevant today. We are in extraordinary times. COVID has really resulted in much more than learning loss. As an education system, we recognize how our academic achievement is intertwined with social, emotional health and learning. Children who are not healthy physically, socially, and mentally will struggle to do well academically. Many of our students have not fared well in the virtual environment, experiencing social isolation. It is imperative that we work together to reverse learning losses and mitigate the long-term mental health effects of the pandemic. We look to all of our community partners to work together to create a future that our students deserve. We are judged by how we meet the challenges of our times, and our times have certainly tested us. But by committing to collaborative partnership, we can meet the challenges of today and ensure a healthy tomorrow for our students. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Delegate Charlotte Crutchfield, and I represent Maryland Legislative District 19 right here in Montgomery County. And I'm here to welcome you to the African American Health Program's Community Day event. As you probably are aware, the Montgomery County Council recently passed a resolution stating that racism is a public health crisis. And therefore, we should support organizations and groups such as AAHP, which are attempting to eliminate health disparities in our community. So please come out and enjoy yourselves today. Thank you.
Welcome to the African American Health Program's Community Day 2021. I am Delegate Janelle Wilkins, and I represent District 20, which is the Silver Spring, Tacoma Park, and White Oak areas in Montgomery County. The efforts of Community Day and the work of AAHP are so important in eliminating health disparities and increasing the number of Blacks in Montgomery County who are healthy at every stage of their lives. In the current pandemic, and especially over the last year, we have truly seen the compounding and debilitating effects of health disparities. And that's why this Community Day today is more important than ever for us to come together and address various issues related to chronic disease, inequalities, and health disparities. I want to thank AAHP for all of their work during the pandemic and well before to ensure the health of the Black community in Montgomery County. We are so well aware of how you go to the people to ensure that treatment and services and especially wrap-around needs are taken care of. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you everyone for being here, and I'm looking forward to a productive day.
Greetings. I'm State Delegate Pamela Queen, representing Legislative District 14, which includes the East County of Montgomery County. On this May 22nd, 2021, we celebrate the African American Health Program, AAHP Community Day. For decades, AAHP has been a vital resource in our community, working to eliminate health disparities for African Americans and people of African descent, making African Americans in Montgomery County as healthy and safe as the rest of the population, and bringing together community partners and resources to achieve the AAHP goals. I know firsthand of the amazing work that you do with your community gardens and local churches to combat diabetes. This was done years before First Lady Michelle Obama made healthy gardens popular. With your health fairs at local recreation centers and prenatal care workshops for pregnant teens at Montgomery County Public Schools. It is because of your outstanding work that I recommended AAHP, and you received the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland's Outstanding Community Partners Award. Next year, I look forward to celebrating with you in person. Thank you for all you do to battle health disparities in our community.
Good morning, everyone. And on behalf of Montgomery County government, I'm glad we're all here. Now, we know our Black community has a legacy that is long and strong. And in order to continue it, we have to make sure we're healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally, especially now with COVID-19, a virus that has been more detrimental to our community than any other. So we have to get vaccinated and practice self-care because we still have a lot to do. We have to educate our children, we have to run successful businesses and tend to our families. Now today we'll hear a lot of information that will touch almost every aspect of our lives. So take notes, have a great day, and have a healthy life. And I might see you later on today on my walk. Take care.
Hi, I'm Arlie Wallace. I am the African American Health Program Manager for Montgomery County's Department of Health and Human Services. Our mission is to improve the quality of life for Black residents of Montgomery County. Please join us on May the 22nd during Black Health Wellness Week. Please come out and enjoy all the festivities. Thank you.
I'm Jacqueline Williams, co-chair of the African American Health Programs Executive Committee. I want to thank you for attending the African American Health Program's 2021 Community Day event. The Community Day event is held as part of the Black Wellness Week. You will learn who we are and what we do to improve the health of the Black community in Montgomery County. And you will learn healthy tips to improve your lives. We're excited to have you join us for an informative and fun event.
Okay, everybody, it's that time for a quick pause for the cause commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Getting back to this. To her. To family. To friends. To hugs. For people at higher risk of COVID-19 complications because of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart conditions, the COVID-19 vaccine is an important choice. Consider it's the first step towards getting back to what you miss so much safely. Getting back to life. Set your heart on it. It's up to you. A message from the American Heart Association.
Hi, I'm Ken Nelson. I only got a minute, but life and death is in it. Welcome to the African American Health Program Community Day. We hope in this minute you'll find ways to improve your body, shape your mind for success, and how to care for your spirit. What matters most is that we live our lives and prosper. If we don't change what we're doing today, our tomorrows will look like yesterday. We only got a minute, and life is in it. Please, please, please don't be a Bennett. Choose a healthy body, a healthy mind, and a healthy spirit. And most of all, be in it.
Thank you so much, Reverend Nelson, for that inspiration message. I think that every day we wake up, we ought to be inspired. We ought to have our soul set on fire to know that that day, it's a gift for us. And those 24 hours that we have got to make it the best. So thank you for inspiring us with that message. Now, shifting gears a little bit, I want to now introduce Greg Williams. He's the founder of Victims' Rights Foundation, and he's going to give us some background information on the 25th anniversary of this foundation. All right, let's take a listen.
Greg Williams, founder of the Victims' Rights Foundation, which celebrates 25 years of volunteer service this year. I'm so proud to be a co-sponsor of the Black Wellness Health Week here in Montgomery County, of course sponsored by the African American Health Program. As the founder of the Victims' Rights Foundation, our emphasis has been on Black health for the last 25 years, especially as it relates to mental health. We deal a lot with the domestic violence in our community, and we find that not only the victims themselves need it, but their children need counseling. So it is our great honor to be a partner this year for the African American Health Program's Community Day, and we hope to come back again next year.
And now it's time to take a moment to learn about AAHP, the African American Health Program.
Hi, my name is Shaniqua, and I'm a social worker here at the African American Health Program, also known as AAHP. And here at AAHP, our mission is simple: to eliminate health disparities and improve the number and quality of years of life for African Americans and people of African descent in Montgomery County, Maryland. First and foremost, I think it's important that you all know that all of our services are free. There is no eligibility criteria, there is no income limit that you must meet. And what do we do here? So we offer free health education classes, referrals for health resources, and we provide access to resources for those in need. We collaborate with lots of local churches and places of faith, local schools, housing complexes, the list goes on. And we have 6 different focus areas that we form all of our services around. And those areas are maternal and infant health through our signature program, SMILE, diabetes and heart health, STI, HIV and AIDS, cancer, oral health, and mental health. You can click the link below to take a free wellness screening. And stay tuned for more information on our services and how we're working through COVID.
Good afternoon. My name is Barry. I'm a registered nurse with AAHP, and I'm about to do your screening.
My name is Christine. I do nice meeting you.
Thank you. So I've received your consent forms. Thank you so much for signing this.
Okay.
Are you taking any new medications?
No.
Any complaints at this visit?
Oh no, I'm glad to be here.
Okay. Alright, so today we're going to do 2 tests.
Okay.
I'm going to check your A1C, and I'm also going to check your sugar, your blood sugar, because those are directly related. Okay? I know. Don't worry, this one doesn't take into consideration any food that you've eaten.
Okay.
But this one does. So you'll have to tell me the last time you ate with this one. All I want for you is to warm up your finger. Any finger of preference. And then I will get ready for you. Thank you. When was the last time you had food today?
1 o'clock.
Okay. Good. Alright, I'm gonna set the machine up. And then I'll get some lancets here. I want you to take a deep breath for me. Take a deep breath and just look away, okay? Alright. There you go. I've got good blood return. Good. Alright, here we go. That's the first test. And then the second test is going to be your A1C. Alright, and set up the machine. There you go. Alright. This one takes 5 minutes, okay? Now this one's already ready. See the result? Alright. Now let's do the next one. This one takes 5 minutes, okay? Now I'm going to put everything in a Shops container. And we're going to wait for the result while I get my gloves off and sanitize. And I'm going to give you a Band-Aid. Alright, thank you. How do you feel?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, that's it.
It's not painful.
Okay, great. I like to hear that. Alright, thank you.
You're welcome.
While we're waiting, I'm going to prepare the paperwork for you, make a copy for you, and then get the station ready for the next time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Regina, one of the health coaches with the African American Weight Management Program. This program was started in July of 2020 for 2 reasons. We wanted to have something to help clients who were gaining weight through COVID-19, the isolation, the stress. And number 2, we wanted to have a program for our clients to lose weight, as weight management can be the foundation of so many chronic illnesses. So what we found is that if you don't have a true medical reason that's causing you to gain weight, there are 3 reasons why you don't lose weight. Number 1, is denialism. I don't need to lose weight. She might be overweight. He might be overweight, but I'm just fine. Number 2 reason, excusism. My family's been overweight for generations. I've tried it before and it doesn't work. I just can't lose weight. And then 3 is mindset. You can't get to the bottom line of what or why is it that I can't lose weight. Well, health coaching helps you with your mindset. It helps you to understand what's holding you back, and we help you get on a pathway to find that power within you to, in fact, lose weight. So if you'd like to learn more about our program or to enroll in our program, you can call me at 301-233-9612, and I'll say it again. What we've learned is that when you gain weight, you tend to do it unconsciously. And what we want to do is just help you consciously lose weight. So again, if you want to reach out to me, my name is Regina, and I can be reached at 301-233-9612. Wishing you all the best of health, and know that you do have the power within you.
I learned from dealing with Dr. Myers and AAHP that health needs to be a priority in the Black community culturally. Like, we need to change the culture of ours and change what we talk about in the locker room, the water cooler, the office, at the hoop court, or the barbershop, from sports, cars, women, clothes, whatever trivial conversation, and start talking about our health and our wealth, because the two are combined. If you're dealing with wealth issues, money issues, it's a stress on you. And then if it's a stress on you, it's a health issue. Meeting Dr. Myers, he saw my glucose level was 402. Okay, and if for anyone that knows about diabetes, your glucose level is supposed to be between 90 to 120. 400 and up, you're starting to talk about a possible diabetic coma. And this was after I came from the gym. And I was taking medication and everything. So when Dr. Myers saw this, his reaction was something that I liked, because he said, this is way too high. You look like you're in good shape and everything. Why, what's going on? And I told him about the history. I told him about my health and my family. And he said, hey, I want you to come to our workshop tomorrow. We're going to get this fixed.
Having a baby is a beautiful experience, but it can be very overwhelming. Pregnant mothers of African descent are 3 times more at risk for poor maternity outcomes and death of an infant before the age of 1. Montgomery County has a free program to address this problem. Hi, my name is Serena, and I'm a nurse case manager for the SMILE program. SMILE stands for Starting More Infants Living Equally Healthy. We are a team of registered nurses who offer home visiting services and specialize in caring for this high-risk population. The nurses in our program answer questions about pregnancy, provide referrals for services, offer education, nutrition tips, and emotional support and encouragement right in the home or elsewhere when needed. Televisits are also an option, and during COVID-19, we are conducting visits via Zoom or FaceTime. Please visit our website for more information, or give us a call to find out how to join our program. Thank you.
I heard about SMILE through my prenatal yoga classes at the Holy Cross Center. There was a flyer for I think it was maternity fair, so I attended the maternity fair over at Holy Cross Hospitals, and I went to different tables. I would say about 90% of the things that I got from the table I did not fully participate in, but the African American Health Program seemed like something that was targeted towards me and would actually benefit me. And I liked the fact that it was non-for-profit, and so that made me want to engage in it more. And the woman at the table told me, she said, "This is your first time pregnancy, you may need a helping hand, here's my card, stay in contact." She contacted me and we remained in contact ever since. The first time I encountered Smile, Sandra Jackson said that she would come to my home, and she did. I was a bit nervous as I was used to doing things a certain way. Now you have to understand, as a scientist, we like to project a certain image. So I wanted to project the image as the happy pregnant woman who had everything under control. Sandra saw right through it, thank goodness. And she set me down and she said, "Here are the things that you need to know." And of course, I went at it like a scientist. I said, "All right, check, 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 check." And Sandra was like, "Something's up." She goes, "This isn't a science." She goes, "This is an experience. Enjoy this as an experience. Learn the things that I'm telling you, and know that I'm here for you and only you. I'm not here for your husband. I'm not here for your family or friends. I'm here for you. Whatever you tell me, I will not tell anyone else." And that made me relax more and open up a floodgate to her.
Don't forget Zumba on Tuesdays, yoga every Wednesday, and then we have our health education series on Wednesdays where we look specifically at diabetes and some of the pathways for diabetes, and nutrition on Thursday, which sounds like you all are attending. So that's great. And then we go a little deeper dive looking at different things on Thursday evenings where you are right now. If you are doing the weight loss program or interested in the weight loss program, please reach out to Regina Barnes. Her contact information is there. And I always ask, and from last night's class, you understand why about 9 in 10 adults don't know they have prediabetes. 1 in 3 adults have prediabetes. So if you do not know that you know that you know that you are not pre-diabetic, please take the risk assessment test and send your score. You'll get a score at the end to Nurse Theory, and we can see what services and programs that will also benefit you. And as you know, we ask you periodically for your numbers. We do keep up with them within the organization just to make sure that we're helping and we're being helpful to you, but also it helps you to manage and self-manage your chronic conditions. And we have to report those out, but we do de-identify, meaning taking all of your info off of it, your name, your address, phone number, anything about you is removed. And we use it for our accreditation with the American Association of Diabetes Educators, the American Heart Association, as well as the county. So please share your glucose, blood pressure, and your story too. We like to hear those. We like to hear how the different programs are helping you and how your numbers are improving. When we talk about dementia, it really looks into the brain function and an impairment in the brain's function and how the brain is working. And it can interfere with your routine daily activities. So the routine daily activities, if you think about what you do every day, getting up out of bed, getting dressed, taking a shower, cooking for yourself, we call those activities of daily life. And when those things start to get interrupted, that's concerning. So if you're no longer able to bathe yourself or go to the bathroom independently, those are things that we need to know so we can make sure you're getting proper services. But mental disorders can cause generally by changes in the brain. Something happens in your brain. There's so many things that goes on up there between nerves, your nervous system, and how things are transmitting, your neurotransmitters. When something happens or there's a change, you can have a mental disorder. And that even goes into psychology. So schizophrenia, depression, anxiety. Patients with dementia tend to be confused or disoriented. So if you ever gone through your wellness exam and they ask you, what's today's date, or who are you, or where are you at? We're trying to orient you. It's what's called orienting, to see where you are. Do you understand the time and place and who's in front of you, where you are? And people that have dementia sometimes cannot. answer those questions. And there's never a wrong answer, but they just kind of look and they don't really know. If I ask them who the president is, they might say Kennedy. Hopefully that's the route they take. But we try to see if you understand who the current president is and what the date is, or that your doctor's office might ask you, what's the address to where you are? I myself failed that one because I just know where the office is. I don't know the actual address. So I like to say, well, can you ask me just the name of the building? Because I can tell you the name of the building, but if you ask me the address, I don't know. I just know I come, I make a right, I make a left, I go in the parking lot and go to the 3rd floor. That's it. So make sure you let them know that if they're asking you a specific address, just let them know. I wouldn't know if you asked me tomorrow. But dementia, a lot of people used to think and joke that dementia was just, well, I'm just getting old. That's just my brain. My grandmother used to say that, well, you know, my brain, I'm getting old. I can't remember. That's what happens when you get old. And that's not a normal change for dementias. That's not a normal staging process as you age. And what we know now that there's many different types and causes of dementia. And some can be reversible and some are not reversible. So the reversible ones typically are caused by either a vitamin deficiency, metal poisoning, or depression. And that's what I was talking about, when you lose your sense of what's happening around you. If you're under the influence of metal poisoning or vitamin deficiency, we can treat the poisoning with the metals and improve your vitamin intake. And you'll start to see that person's cognition or their functioning returning. The irreversible kind can sometimes be controlled by being limited to how fast they progress with medication. But unfortunately, at this time, we cannot cure Alzheimer's or certain types of dementia. There's no cure for it. We can just delay it and try to slow down the progression. Other illnesses or diseases that might cause a dementia-like state would be a brain injury or a brain tumor or a brain infection like meningitis. So what is a multi-infarct dementia? So an impairment of the mental function that results in what we call mini strokes that destroy small parts of the brain. And what we know that when a piece of the brain dies, it doesn't come back. Your brain doesn't regenerate. So as it starts to die, it's gone. And about 20% of all dementias are this particular type of dementia. And we'll start to find out about the other 80. In Alzheimer's disease, that is more progressive. So that's something that happens over a period of time. And it eventually destroys all of the mental and physical function. And if you've known anyone with Alzheimer's disease, it's a challenging condition for the person as well as for family and friends or caregivers. It is one of the most common causes of dementia. And it's in its own right discussed separately. And it accounts for 80 to 90% of all of the dementia cases. So it's over 4 million people that have that, which is about 10% of our population. And we have to start to wonder what's happening and what's causing this and why is this becoming more prevalent? Could it be that we're living longer? Or could it be that something is happening in our bodies that as we age, it's increasing the likelihood of Alzheimer's or dementia in general. It can affect women, men, doesn't care if you're rich or poor. It's a risk factor for everyone. Most people that have Alzheimer's are over 65. However, it doesn't mean that if you're young, you're fine. You're not going to get Alzheimer's. You're not going to have any form of dementia. It can affect people as young as 40. And the recorded lowest that we have here is 28 years old. So as you get older, as you can see, the prevalence of Alzheimer's disease, which you'll see abbreviated through the slides as AD, because it's hard to keep spelling Alzheimer's correctly, but it's abbreviated AD. As you go up in age, the numbers go up. So you have 3%, 65 to 74, and then once you get over 85, 47%. It's hard when I talk about this part because if you have Alzheimer's or dementia, it can get a little, you can start to feel pretty depressed about when you start talking about numbers, right? So rest assured that each individual is different and it ranges, and what you choose for your treatment and how you're treated can adjust and affect how this disease progresses in someone's lifespan. But the average lifespan is 8 to 10 years once they are diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
and it is something that you're not cured from. So eventually it will, if no other medical problems come into play, it is a terminal disease. Eventually what happens is your body stops telling it how to function, and you stop eating, or you can't swallow, or you stop breathing, and that leads to your death, unfortunately. And it's the fourth leading cause of death in the American adults. More than 50% of patients that are in nursing homes have Alzheimer's disease. Now, at first you get a little bit like, whoa, half the people in nursing homes, don't send me there. But however, most of the people that are residents in the nursing home are there because they're family or they're alone, and it's difficult to care for someone with Alzheimer's disease that has progressed. So those stats are something, but it's kind of stacked. And stacked meaning that patients that go into nursing care typically already have Alzheimer's. So of course, 50% of them are going to have Alzheimer's disease. So assisted living and nursing homes can be different reasons for being there, but the most common cause that people are seeking help in those areas are because their loved one has Alzheimer's. So what is age-related and what is Alzheimer's or dementia? Warning signs are poor judgment and decision-making. Age-related is just a bad decision every once in a while, right? Giving somebody a ride home from a store becomes concerning if you did it once, but if you keep giving strangers rides home, that's a little concerning. And some people actually will target the elderly, and when they think they can see that they'll just let them get in the car with them. When you start to lose your ability to manage your funds and your budget. If you miss one monthly payment, that, I forgot to pay the cable bill, or I forgot to pay X, that's okay. But if you just don't pay anything and you don't even look at your money, that's concerning and an early warning sign. Losing track of the date or the season, wearing a sweater in the middle of the summer when it's 90 degrees, and difficulty having a conversation because you can't think of the words to say, or sometimes every once in a while forgetting which word to use. Misplacing things and being unable to retrace your steps to find them mean you don't know where your key is, and you can't even think back to, well, I walked into the door. I had to have the house key to get into the door, right? But when dementia and Alzheimer's are settling, you can't even connect that I had the key to get in the door. So losing things from time to time is normal. I would be concerned when I lose my keys, except I've been losing my keys since I was a kid. So my friends keep buying me that thing that you can clap, or an app, so I can find my keys, but I forget to put it on the key. But so for me, that wouldn't be something I would look for. So knowing yourself and knowing what's something that's normal for you. However, if I forgot my wallet, they know how much I like my money. And for me to forget my wallet, that's abnormal. And forget where I put my wallet, what happened to my wallet, why isn't it where I thought it should be? Diagnosis is through the questioning and asking questions. Sometimes they will do a scan. Most insurances will not cover a scan, so doctors do it through examination and talking. And they're working on getting lab tests where they'll be able to determine to see if you have these markers that I've been mentioning. I want to move more to prevention, and one way to prevent is exercise. Exercising and moving helps to keep the brain having to tell your body to do different functions. Also eating a Mediterranean diet, that's also very helpful. And we've talked about that diet as well. And also getting enough sleep. But getting enough sleep is extremely important. As we get older, we tend to get less sleep, but we actually need more sleep. So if you can get to 7 to 8 hours of sleep, it gives your brain time to regenerate. I apologize for the background noise. And also learning new things, which is why I'm great that you all are here. You all are participating in different programs. That's something that helps you. And so the exercise science they've gone through, there are people who exercise are least likely, they lower their risk for Alzheimer's by 250%. And I know she had to drop off, but this is the good news. This is, and I'll probably do this as just an overview at the next class, but when you exercise, you lower your risk by 250%. So if you're increasing your risk by 54% just genetically because of your parents, you can lower that back down by 250% by exercising. And these are just some of the articles, but that's why it's important to not just get sucked into, I can't do this because my parents had this and this is my destiny. You can make some changes. You can drink alcohol. Some people are like, oh, I heard alcohol causes it. You just want to do a little bit. You don't want to drink a lot. If as you get older, some people just cut alcohol out altogether. But when we say cut it back, a moderate amount of alcohol is 1 drink per day, which is quite a bit, but 1 or 2 for men. But limiting your alcohol lowers your risk, as opposed to drinking hard alcohol, tequila, whiskey, bourbon. So as we start to look at different ways to prevent it, it really all lines into the same things that we talk about for prevention of diabetes, hypertension, heart problems, exercise, the foods that you're putting into your body, knowing not only the calories and the carbohydrates, but also if it has a lot of metal. I know I've seen different things pop up on the news where they find that there's people take a magnet and roll it over their food, and their food actually comes up to the food. So understanding that might be when something's too cheap, you need to make sure exactly read the bottom part of when it says what ingredients are in there and what's happening with that. So what are we all going to do, right? Exercise and keep looking at our plant-based diet and focus on those options.
Yeah.
We are AAHP.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are.
We are. We are.
We are. We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
The African American Health Program.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are. We are.
We are.
We are. We are.
We are. We are.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are.
We are. We are.
We are. We are the AAHP, the African American Health Program.
Okay, everybody, it's that time for a quick pause for the cause commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right, grab a chair or ottoman, a poof, or is it puff? Doesn't matter. Something stable you can dip with. All right, 1 dip, 2, 3, 4, nice, 5. Starting to feel it? Because I am. And I'm just in animation. Burning. Go ahead. We earned it.
I truly hope that you have been enjoying our sessions and learning a lot today. And I have another one that I want to take a moment and introduce you to. It's called Taking Care of Ourselves, Reflections from Survivors, featuring Dr. William Lawson, Ms. Bertha Ballou, and Ms. Regina Barnes.
Hello, my name is Bertha Ballou, and I'm a colon cancer survivor. How I found out I had cancer is that I was on a trip at the Dominican Republic. I thought I ate something bad or drank some bad water, and I was feeling uncomfortable. Started feeling better towards the end of the trip. When I got home, of course, I went to the doctor. My primary care doctor had moved away a few months ago to another practice in Virginia. So along that search for a new doctor, I have this problem of, just an irritation that just won't go away. It will come and go. But, I went to, on my search for a new doctor, they would tell me, it's, could be a hemorrhoid, and so it would go away for a couple weeks and then come back. This lasted probably for about 3 months until I finally was like, what is going on? It just is not right. I didn't feel tired or anything of that nature. It's just that I felt uncomfortable. And so I wanted to track down my primary care doctor. and she actually had moved back finally to the Montgomery County area. And so she did a physical. She didn't detect anything, but she wanted to continue testing because I said I was uncomfortable. And she wanted to continue testing and suggested that I take a urine test, which I did. And so that's where she detected blood in my stool. So once she did that, she recommended that I get a colonoscopy, which I did. So I got a colonoscopy, and immediately they knew that it was cancer after I woke up from the colonoscopy, and confirmed it with a few other doctors the very following day. And so I had to have surgery pretty immediate. So I had surgery 2 weeks later to remove 14 inches of my colon. They weren't sure until they got into the surgery if the cancer broke the surface of the colon, which it did. It did, and it spread to my lymph nodes. Therefore, they deemed it a stage 3 colon cancer because it did spread to lymph nodes. So all my lymph nodes were removed during the surgery. That was the surgery part, though, as bad as it may sound, it was probably the easier part, because once I started chemo, that was definitely pretty challenging on that journey. So staying cold all the time, losing, feeling in your fingertips and your toes, which I still experience. But my treatment was a 6-month treatment, and I had a 3-part cocktail, 3 different drugs, and I would start that treatment on a Thursday and Friday at the infusion lab, and then take an infusion home with me to finish up on Monday. And so this was every other week for 6 months. And the day-to-day life, I always tried to stay busy. Of course, I worked, and one thing that I recommend for others is to try not to work a stressful job and take that time. I know, it's tough, but if I had to do it over again, I probably would have done something a little bit different so that I could focus more on my overall health journey, being on steroids as well during that whole treatment. After I came off the steroids, it was tough because I, gained a lot of water weight, I guess, and a lot of weight. My appetite came back, of course, but it seemed like the eating journey during treatment was challenging because you couldn't eat anything cold, of course. You had to eat warm things just because of the neuropathy. Could be very painful. And just being careful with the treatment, since I had to take the chemo treatment home, and how, I would remove the infusion apparatus from my body, and, just take care of myself in that manner when the treatment was over, and dispose of the chemical. And so, just staying positive is very key. Experiencing laughter, be around your loved ones. Definitely be around your loved ones and enjoy life. Don't be afraid to, spend time with your friends, or go somewhere, go on a trip within reason. But don't be afraid to live life and enjoy life as you're going through this journey as you can. There are days that you just don't want to do anything. You just want to rest and relax, and you got to listen to your body and do that. You have to relax. You have to focus on you and not let anything get you upset or frustrated. I know the treatment enough is tough in itself, but what I recommend for others is to, again, continue to stay positive. Surround yourself with positive people, people that are going to encourage you, and just listen, listen to you, and definitely listen to others who are going through the same thing, and, have that network of people who are going through the same treatment or even different treatment, so that you understand their journey and be there for them, and encourage them along their walk, and as you go along your walk. So, in a nutshell, that's what my journey was like, going through colon cancer. And for those that who are supporting or being caregivers, the caregiver is awesome. The caregivers, advice that I give to those who don't have the disease: just be careful what you put in your body. Watch what you eat. Try to eat more vegetables and fresh foods. Me, I think, I had have a very stressful job at the time, very stressful, more than what I do now. But where I would eat out all the time, and, not really eat the best of foods, eat a lot of processed food. So try to eat natural foods, whole foods, less red meat, more vegetables, no sodas, stay off the alcohol as much as possible. Just try to treat yourself well, and, drink plenty of fluids, and definitely, most important thing, stay positive on your journey as much as you can. And yeah, you have tough days, you have down days, but gather yourself, prayer worked for me, praying with my brothers, my sisters, my family, always surrounding me in prayer, sending me positive notes. And that's what other people can do as well. Send positive notes, send text messages, emails, positive energy, love, and support is what got me through in prayer. So thank you for allowing me to share my journey, and I hope and pray that this will help someone on theirs. Thank you.
On Tuesday, we were also talking about health screenings and how millions of people canceled them during the pandemic. Well, that includes a steep drop in colon cancer screening specifically. Well, this morning, some big news to report. A U.S. task force is now lowering the recommended age to get checked from 50 to 45. And it's a big move because insurance companies base their coverage on these recommendations. So the task force says that the move could save lives, literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lives, because colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer deaths in this country. A lot of folks have said they didn't get screened because, not because they were afraid, couldn't afford it.
They couldn't afford it. And I've fought with insurance companies over that. There are people my age, and I'm 43 now, and if the doctor says you need one, but then the insurance company says, well, you don't reach the threshold, it's super expensive.
And as you know, Craig, especially for African Americans, it's even more important. And some doctors say you should start getting screened, especially if there's some sort of family history. At like 40.
Yep. You should be having these conversations with your doctor. So the new guidance 45 for everyone. They changed it a while back for African Americans specifically. They lowered it to 45, but now they're saying 45 colon cancer screenings, everyone across the board.
Could you see this becoming a trend, those important screenings, perhaps getting
Hopefully.
younger and younger?
And one of the things that led to this, to the change, was the research that has been done over the last few years, and you've seen the higher incidence in young people specifically. So this should save lives.
If the insurance companies were smart, it would be, well, if you pay, you can pay me now or you can pay me later. Let's do this earlier.
Yes.
So that we avoid more expensive surgeries and things like that.
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Regina. I'm a project manager and community health worker for the African American Health Program. In April of 2012, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of early detection. Today, there are so many advances in medical treatment that being diagnosed early can mean a better chance of survival. Now, how can you find breast cancer early? The American Cancer Society recommends having yearly mammograms after women turn 40 years old. Your doctor or other healthcare provider may recommend sooner or more frequent mammogram screenings depending on your risk. Mammograms are necessary because they are better able to find breast changes before you might feel or find them yourself. Mammograms are important because women who have mammograms done regularly are more likely to find breast cancer early, less likely to require aggressive treatments such as mastectomy or chemotherapy, and more likely to be cured. Unfortunately, there are many reasons to stop African American women from getting their mammograms done each year. These reasons may be cost or lack of access to health care, not wanting to deal with the discomfort that may come with having the actual mammogram done, concerns about the physical changes that may take place after learning you have breast cancer, and last but not least, feelings of fear. Fear surrounding your results, having to go under treatment, or fear of the unknown. But the important thing that I want you to remember is medicine has advanced tremendously, and that many women, like myself, survive breast cancer and continue to lead happy, healthy, and productive lives. So remember, early detection saves lives.
Raise your hand if you never thought of being affected by breast cancer. Raise your hand if you ever thought, I'm too young, too healthy, too busy. Raise your hand if you know that regular self-examinations can be the difference between life and death. Raise your hand, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed form of cancer among Black women. Raise your awareness, lower your risk. For more information, go to bet.com/pink.
Yeah, I never really gave much thought to prostate cancer, even thinking very much about it. I found out that my grandfather passed away due to it. I knew my father was diagnosed and had surgery for it, and so he had a good outcome. But I didn't think very much about it. Went to Howard University, joined their faculty, and while I was there, I was working with Dr. Iota, who was chair of urology, and we were active in terms of trying to promote some prostate awareness. And then I said, well, I'm spreading the information about everyone else. I should really go out and get tested to see where I stand, even though I didn't have any symptoms. So I knew what the positive results meant. Went and got tested, got PSA, and they said, oh my gosh, man, what's going on? I said, what do you mean? So you got a PSA of 4. Then, lo and behold, my brother came up with a positive biopsy. And I said, whoa. And then they also said, we'll keep this up because it sounds like you have a strong family history. So we really want to make sure that we don't miss anything. The robotic surgery, and and it sounded like it was a relatively safe surgery, although, as he told me, I was number 30 in terms of the patients that he had done. So it was new technology. We talked about whether we want to get chemotherapy, radiation, and I said, let's go for the surgery alone and see what happens. I was, my PSA started creeping up again. So we had a long discussion about that because one urologist that I knew was firmly believing in watchful waiting. So you'll probably die of something else before you get this. But I said, no, my family's long living. And I may just be ones that don't. Ironically, that urologist died of it a few years later. But came out in one of the top journals showing that survival was greatly improved after you had radiation therapy along with a testosterone blocker. So I think the good news is that thanks to some area in which there's emerging technology, if you test it and treat it, it will have very little effect on your life. And also the good news is that this is an area of expanding research, so there's probably going to be some new treatments coming out in the near future. Well, prostate cancer continues to be a major killer in black men. It's not because we don't have treatments for it. It's being able to recognize the need for treatment and to intervene when appropriate. And tip number one is to go out there and check that prostate. A lot of guys don't want to do this. They don't want somebody digging up in my behind. Well, it's got to be done as one of the more benign procedures. Tip number two is don't be fearful of the kinds of intervention that's used to treat it. I have people saying, well, I'll never have sex again, or I'll never be able to, my body's going to be deformed. Bottom line is that all of these, we now have ways to address these issues that's been pretty effective. Number three is to talk about when you do have problems in terms of your urinary system, any of your genital problems, to bring it up with your family medicine. If your family medicine doctor is uncomfortable or is unsure, then go out and talk to a specialist. This is a rapidly developing field. I think the good news is that we're living at the time we're living at now where there's a genuine concern about life expectancy of black men, about making sure we can reduce these health disparities that we're finding that still persist.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. And now it's time to introduce you to some next great sessions. Yes, I'm excited to announce that coming up, GirlTrek. GirlTrek is in the building. They have actually walked down Black Lives Matter street in downtown Silver Spring. And I am so excited that this entire Black Lives Matter has become bigger than just our area. It has become a global thing because Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, life matters, living matters. And because of them and their programs, they are definitely help making it matter for girls all across the country. Also, GirlTrek visited the farmers market. And when you talk about the farmers market, that leads me into my next thing, which is food. So we have a session on cooking for the summertime. And you're going to get some great cooking tips and some great summertime dishes. Yes, can I say food? I'm ready to learn something. Let's take a look and see what's going on.
Hi, my name is Habiba Jackson, and I'm an organizer with GirlTrek, the largest health organization for Black women and girls. GirlTrek is a walking movement that encourages and inspires Black women to live their healthiest lives by walking 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. You can learn more about GirlTrek and join this walking movement by visiting our website, www.girltrek.org.
So all of our juice is blended, not juiced, so meaning all of the fiber and all of the nutrients that you get from the full vegetable or from the full fruit is all included inside of it. No preservatives, no added sugars, just as healthy as it possibly can be. Let's say that my favorite right now is going to be our new seasonal drink. This is called the Spring Special. It's really, really good. It has a strong strawberry taste, which is one of my favorite fruits. It's amazing.
Awesome. So how long have you been at the Silver Spring Farmers Market?
So we've been at this farmers market for about 2 months. Prior to this, we were at DuPont Circle, and we've been there for over a year.
Okay, awesome. So thank you. So how many, what variety of popcorn?
I'll be honest, we can only bring 15 out here, but we have at least 50 to 60 flavors.
What's one of your favorite flavors?
My favorite one, I'll be honest with you, I like the Chicago one. Chicago caramel and cheese, and we got a white cheddar. That's a special one. You know, the Polish chocolate right here. You know, right there, 44. You know, so you got the 44 with the legal garage. So got a regular kettle corn. Got caramel with the caramel, got butter, lemon thyme. Selected, you have to stay healthy and everything.
Okay, awesome. And how can we support you? If we can't come out to the farmers market, we want people to come out every Saturday for the farmers market. Do you want to get you out during the week?
Yeah, like talking, so like right here, get the Kappa kettle corn, the bags right here. We have our site right here. You go on there, got ingredients on the site. You can order, we deliver. So either way, you say, we have the Instagram kettle.
Awesome. I really appreciate it.
Most of us do not drink enough water. Symptoms of dehydration include dizziness, lack of concentration, irritability, and headaches. Aim to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day and you will stay well hydrated.
And today I'm going to share a healthy recipe with you. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a mango mint smoothie. Very refreshing, quick to make, and as all of the foods that I make in my class, it is health promoting. And so we are going to start with mango. This is fresh mango, and if you don't have 2 fresh mangoes, you can always use frozen mango. But of course, I like to go with fresh if I can. So in addition to mango, I will include lime juice, cucumber, and you can use either type of cucumber, the traditional one that we use in America or the ones that are getting more popular here, which are the English cucumbers made in Canada or grown in Canada. And then we have some mint leaves that we will add to give it a nice, refreshing taste and feel. Okay? So I'm going to put it together. I'm going to put it together after I cut a little bit more of the mango. I've already cut pieces of the mango, and I thought I'd cut a couple other pieces because what we want to do is make sure we get as much of the mango as we can. And of course, we're cutting around the disc that is in the middle, which you really cannot cut. So we get as much of the fruit off of the disc as we can. And I'll just stop here. And we're going to take this mango and I'm going to put it into the blender here. It's actually 2 pieces or 2 mangoes that I have cut up to put in. To that I will add cucumber, fresh cucumber, and then I will add some juice to it, and that in this instance is lime juice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. And next I'm going to add some ice, and I also have my lime juice in, and then I'm going to add some fresh mint leaves. Okay, and then I'm going to blend this all up. I'll put my little tamper in here. Okay, smells very good. Okay, so we're going to take our mango smoothie and pour it into the glass here. And I think I'll top it off with a piece of mint. And there is your mango mint smoothie. I think I'll try it. Okay, this is delicious. Gotta try it at home. And after that, join us for some classes at AAHP. We have classes for health promotion and do attend one on health and nutrition. I'm the instructor there, and I'm inviting you to come on Thursday afternoons. Thank you. Today, we're going to make a recipe taken from a book called The Blue Zones Kitchen. You may be familiar with the Blue Zones. Those are areas of the world where the longest lived people are. There are about 5 cities, and one happens to be in the United States. It is called Loma Linda. And many Seventh-day Adventists live there who eat mostly plant-based. Many do. And so I thought it would be nice to share one of the recipes from the Blue Zones with you. And when I say longest lived people, they have the most centenarians, people over 100 years old there. Okay, so I'm going to make something called a salad called Hearts of Palm ceviche. Ceviche is from Latin America and South America, and it is a salad that has cod, usually, a type of fish in it, or a white fish in it. But we're more plant-based, and so this particular recipe has hearts of palm in place or in substitution for a cod. And so I wanted to show you the various ingredients that we have. We have hearts of palm, a sweet onion vidalia, some cilantro, some lime, and we have 2 kinds of peppers. This is habanero peppers. You may have seen those in the store. And also what they call sweet peppers, or that we refer to as red bell peppers. Okay? And when we're done with our salad, we'll have an accompaniment go with it. So what I've done is I've cut up the hearts of palm, but so that you're aware of how it comes out of either a jar or a can. This is what it looks like. And all I'm doing is cutting it into little circles. Well, it's already a circle, so I'm just slicing the circles and putting them here. I've already cut my habanero a little bit, as well as my sweet pepper, and I also have lime here that we'll use. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with my onions. I've cut my onion in quarters and then sliced them, so I'm going to put them in this bowl. I'll put 3/4 of them in today. And then I'm going to add to that my hearts of palm, about a cup. Okay. And then I will put in, it asks for about a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/4 of the habanero peppers. This is quite a spicy pepper, so if you're not into hot, you might want to skip that. And then I'm going to put in these red bell pepper pieces. And put as much as you like in here. It mentions 2 bell peppers, and I've cut up quite a bit here. Okay? Now, I will now add a little bit of lime juice and cilantro. I'll put my cilantro in first. You can just pull off pieces of your cilantro. Smells so good. Herbs are wonderful for you. Both herbs and spices, and they help you not miss things like salt, which are not so good for us. We need a little salt, but we don't need as much as we consume every day. And so here's what I have, and to that I'm going to add my lime juice. I'll just take this out, and this is what really gives a zest of flavor to this dish. Smells delicious. Okay, I'll put that there. I'll mix it up a little bit. It's quite a simple recipe, but it's a refreshing recipe. And as we look forward to summer, we want to find very light, delicious foods to eat, and something that we can also serve to our guests when they come to visit. So in the end, you can put this on a nice little dish and add to that a few tortilla chips, and you have a nice snack, salad, or side dish. So I want to invite you to take my class and the many other classes that are offered at AAHP, and all for bettering your health and reducing any chronic diseases that you may have. And so there are classes all through the week, every week, and I invite you to come to the health and nutrition class on Thursday afternoons. I hope you try this dish and many like it. Thank you. Hello, my name is Robina Barlow, and I am the health and nutrition instructor at AAHP. I'm also a certified PCRM Food for Life instructor. Today, I'm going to make a spinach salad with citrus fruit. And this is a great salad because it is full of greens, which have potassium and iron, and also fruits, which have lots of vitamin C and other minerals and vitamins that we can use. So today, I'm going to take my baby spinach, and I'll just tell you the ingredients. The baby spinach, mandarin orange, strawberries and blueberries, sesame seeds, and Brazil nuts. Now, if you don't have all of these ingredients, it's okay. You can mix and match however you want, but this we know makes a delicious salad. So this is a cool salad, a nutritious salad, and one that's quite easy to make. I'm going to start by taking my baby spinach here. The recipe asks for about 10 ounces, okay? And to that, I'm going to add all of the ingredients. So we're going to add mandarin oranges. We're going to add some nice, bright, and in-season strawberries. We're also going to add to that some seeds. These are sesame seeds. Just sprinkle that about. And then Brazil nuts. And you chop them up, but of course they start whole. They are quite nutritious, but they are also fairly fatty, so we use them sparingly when we use them, okay? Now, if you're allergic to berries, you can use other fruits like grapes, or if you don't want mandarin oranges, maybe you want grapefruit. But again, you can play with that. I'm actually going to add a few blueberries to the mix here because I like that combination. Okay, and that is pretty much what you have. The recipe calls for about 1/4 cup of raspberry vinaigrette. It says a low-fat or no-fat vinaigrette. So when you open up a bottle or container, it is best, or even before you purchase it, to look at the nutrition label on the back. So we know that this one is a low-fat dressing. I'm going to put this on my salad. And then I'm going to mix it up. So we want to toss this a little bit, turn it over so that we make sure that we have mixed all of our ingredients and that they are all very, and that we have all of our spinach leaves and our fruit with dressing on them, okay? And when you're done, it is ready to set on the table and for everyone to enjoy. This is our spinach salad with citrus fruit. Thank you. I hope you'll try it at home. If you'd like to learn more about healthy eating and learn some new recipes that are good for your health, that will help reverse chronic disease, please check us out at AAHP, and there are many classes there that are free for you to take, including the health and nutrition class, which I teach on Thursday afternoons. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Micheline Bowman, and you have been joining me and experiencing this virtual experience for AAHP's Community Day 2021. Now we got some more sessions we got to get into because I have been enjoying literally every session I have taken something away from, and I'm hoping that you've done the same. Now that last session for the summertime cooking tips and all that, it made me hungry. So after this, y'all better believe I'm going to be running to my kitchen and whipping up something to eat. But I want to make sure we continue on with our sessions because coming up right now, we're going to give you some tips on how to grow vegetables in a container. I've seen people do that on social media. I myself haven't done it. I don't know if I call it lazy because I go to the store, but gardening and growing gardens has become a big thing recently with 2020 happening and now into 2021. So we're going to find out how that works and how you could possibly do it too. Let's take a look.
Hello everyone, my name is Michelle Nelson. I am the Community Garden Program Manager with Montgomery Parks, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about our program and show you one of our sites. The Montgomery County Parks Department runs a community garden program that has 12 community gardens across the county. This is just one of our sites at the Nolte Community Garden, which is at Nolte Park in Silver Spring. There are 18 raised beds here, and most of them are rented now, but we charge a nominal yearly fee, $35 for these tables, $45 for 200 square feet, $65 for 400 square feet, and $85 for 625 square feet. Community members are welcome to garden here, plant vegetables, get exercise. So if you're interested in learning more, please feel free to email us. You can email me directly at michelle.nelson@montgomeryparks.org, or you can email us at communitygardens@montgomeryparks.org.
Good morning. I'm Audrey Hankinson, and I'm here to talk to you today about container gardening. I would like to thank the African American Health Program and especially Pat Grant for inviting me here today. When you use containers to do your gardening, if you don't have a lot of space, you can use various sizes of containers. I'd like to show you a few that you can use. You can start off with something very small. You can use a medium-sized container. Here's a larger size, and here's a giant size. Now I can show you what kinds of vegetables that you can plant in each one. First of all, if you use containers, you want to make sure that your containers have adequate drainage. One of the ways that you can control your drainage is by putting in small pebbles like this to cover up the holes. If you don't have pebbles, you can use a piece of newspaper, just cut it the size of the hole in the container. Once you have placed your pebbles in the bottom of your pot and put to cover the drainage holes, you will use potting soil, good potting soil. Do not use soil from the ground. That is not the best kind. You need a potting soil, preferably one that you purchase from one of the garden centers, Home Depot, or Lowe's. After you have put your potting soil into your pot, you can begin to plant your vegetables. Here you can see in this container, I have a Swiss chard plant. I also have one that is grown over from last year. I dug it up, and what I'm going to do is put it into this pot, cover it up, and it's all ready for the growing season. I will also put other Swiss chard plants in this pot. Now this will become my Swiss chard pot. Suppose you like herbs and you would like to have some herbs. Now, I would suggest that you use a container to grow your herbs. Here in this section, I have several kinds of herbs. Cilantro. This is lemon thyme. Rosemary. This is curry. Sage. And two kinds of parsley. This is flat leaf parsley, and this is the curly kind of parsley. Now, this pot here may be too small for this many herbs. So make your selection. Put the kinds that will grow together but that won't outgrow each other. This planter box can also be used for herbs. I think it would make a very nice holder for several different kinds of herbs. That would look very good. In this pot, as you can see, it's very large and it's also very deep. It's deep enough to contain the roots from a tomato plant. Now, who doesn't like to eat juicy, ripe tomatoes? And when you go to the grocery store and you get tomatoes, do you know that those tomatoes are picked when they are green? You can go out to your container, get your tomato when it is fully ripe and ready to eat. It tastes so much better than the kind you get in the grocery store. So now, once you have put enough soil in your pot, I would suggest that you put in a cage. so that it can support the branches on your tomato plant. Once the tomatoes have been planted, the soil has been put in the pot, you place your cage inside. Then you put your tomato plant in, and as it grows up the vine, be sure to keep your vines inside so that you won't have things sprawling all outside of it. You could probably put 2 tomato plants in one pot this size. I would like to give you a few more tips on growing your vegetables in containers. In addition to having your soil, your containers, proper containers, adequate light, proper watering, you want to use some fertilizer. And the smart release plant food like this, after you have planted your vegetables, just sprinkle a little into your container around your plant. Water it in thoroughly. And every 3 to 6 weeks, come back and add a little more. That helps your plants to grow better. Now, if you look here at this container, I grew these herbs. This is sweet basil from seed. And as you can see, it was started with the proper growing medium. These are containers. All of us in this pandemic have gone out and purchased food. These containers that you get with your food, save them, keep them clean, and you can put starter soil in them and start your seeds. These were started sometime in March. I planted these in March, and this is what it looks like today. They are ready for individual pots or to be grouped in one pot. So I hope that this information that you have had has been helpful for you. I know it's a lot and there are some things you may have forgotten, but just remember, gardening in containers is fun, it's economical, and it's healthy. So anything that you have missed or would like to know more of, just email me. Get my email information from someone, Pat Grant, or someone in the African American Health Program, and I will be glad to give you more information. Thank you, and happy gardening.